Hello, welcome to week 44 of Project 52, where we produce one track per week for 1 year straight. Without further ado, let's get right into making this week's track. Okay, last week was a bit rough. I wasn't really able to come up with any ideas on camera, and I ended up changing a lot of the original idea, or at least making something totally different that I thought I would be making. But it's fine, it's a new week and it's a new track that we have to make. So let me show you first what I've done so far for this week. Just play you everything. Then I'll just show you all the tracks, just to kind of explain quickly what type of samples and sounds and stuff I've used to make it the way it is currently. And then let's just continue producing and hopefully try to produce the track all the way across the finish line in this one session. Let's see, today it's Monday, so in 2 days I'm going to release the video. I've released these videos on Wednesdays, by the way, so we still have a lot of time, but the idea is kind of interesting and it could be easy to finish. I say this every week. Maybe we can finish it in one session, but yeah, this week I'm really trying to make it that way, so I have a lot of time to mix it well and then also edit the video. But anyway, that's enough talking. Here is my idea so far for week 44 of Project 52. For here onward, it's going to be just the same. And also this section already, like the second half, is still a work in progress. And I also kind of want to add something in here as well. But let's see, we'll try to figure that out in the production. But first I'll show you the tracks that have gone into the project so far. And I'll start from the kick drum, which is in the second half. Or should I start from here? No, I just go from the top and come down. All right, so the kick drum sounds like this. So nothing fancy, I've just taken out the transient of these, like the offbeat hits compared to these. Then we have the snare, which is a 4 or actually kind of 5 layers. The 4 layer, kind of the main 4 layers together sound like this. This is the first layer, this is the second one, third one, and fourth one. In addition, to get that white noise that you heard in every one of the samples, which is not actually the case, but we are just adding into the snare group Naze, which is adding noise generation following the envelope of the snare. And without Naze, it sounds like this. Then the fifth layer, which is kind of not part of the snare, but it's just there to add some tonality to it, is a percussion sound with further. Without further. So all the layers of the snare sound like this. Then there is a percussion loop cut into pieces and it sounds like this. So apparently I'm only taking the hi-hats of it in this section here, and then at the end we are going to get a little bit more. Then we have another percussion loop which sounds like this, and it's only for the second half. It's like a shaker thing. And then we have 2 layers of hi-hat. The first one is the one that's playing all the way, and it sounds like this. And the second one sounds like this, which is only for the second half. The next track is a shaker as well, which is being filtered in for the last quarter of the track so far. And I have an idea that this could continue like this into this next section, but let's see, it sounds like this. And then lastly, we have just 2 rides or crashes. The first one sounds like this. I think I categorized this in my ride folder because to me it sounds more like a ride, but I don't know. And then the second one is a much shorter one. and then it also does something like this. Alright, so those are the drums. We don't have any basses yet because the first lead or the synth kinda has a bass player to it already. Also, we don't have any effects, but I'll show you these two layers of the synth sound. So the first layer is the main thing that is playing the whole way through, and it's made in Faceplant. It's just a saw wave and a noise sample, and its amplitude is being modulated by the saw wave, so it sounds like it's being distorted a bit. Then I just have two filters, and that's literally it. A little bit of dynamic EQ, and then a little bit of normal EQ, and it sounds like this. And then the second layer is from Omnisphere, and this is something that I added just like 10 minutes ago before I started filming. I don't know if I'll end up using this. It sounds like this. And the thing that is making both of these as cool as it is, I think, is Orbit with the second phaser mode. And it's just making that cool, kind of almost psychedelic sounding modulation thingy to the whole synth. So without Orbit, wait, let me just play you both of the layers first with Orbit, so you'll remember again how it sounded like originally. And by the way, we are also adding a little bit of drive, so the heat knob here, so if I just take that out. It's not quite as aggressive, but without Orbit, they sound like this. It's a bit underwhelming. So let's just add Orbit back in. Alright, but those are all the elements that I have so far, so I guess let's just jump right back into production. Alright, so as for the leads or the synths or whatever, they are quite dark, so I think we need some brightness to the melody, or just like some sort of chords or sounds that would make the track a bit more alive. So let's try to do something like that first, and then continue into creating the arrangement. So thinking about what we are going to do after this section here, so in here. Oh my god. Okay, good. I was thinking we were gonna crash right away. Oh, and by the way, I didn't show you the frequencies of the main lead, but it actually has some quite low frequencies as well. So we are at 61 Hertz. I mean, the volume is pretty low, but that's like bass frequency or sub frequencies already. So I'm not going to add a separate bass quite yet. I don't know if I'm going to add one later down the line, but let's see. I'm just gonna not worry about the bass at all at the moment. missing a lot, and I don't really know what it is. I'm thinking of some sort of strings. Strings short. Oh my god. I still want to get rid of the autoplay by default, and I haven't found a setting in Omnisphere where you could not do the autoplay at all. Because it always scares me when I press a preset name and then it just plays me this loud sound because I haven't turned down the track volume yet. Something more still, like just a thing in the background which would fill up the spectrum a bit better. So I'll try to quickly do that, and then let's move on into the next section. Fills up the spectrum very nicely. Like, just have a listen. What are we missing? Are we missing like a shaker or a tambourine or something before this one comes in? Because we are still missing something, but I just don't know what it is. We really need to move on to the next section already, but I just want to get this right. I think I need to look at the big picture again to just know what to do and not just be in these like microscopic sections, because that doesn't help in understanding the whole thing that you're trying to do here. It could be cool to have some sort of ambient slope in the background here, so it wouldn't be so dry. I still need a layer to the electric piano. I promise, after this, we are going to move on. Something like that, and delay before it, and I don't know, maybe that'll work. still would have a lot more I would want to do there, but let's just move on. Okay, should we now introduce a bass, or should we just keep using the same sound? Let's keep using the same sound. I think it would be better to, like, for actually getting something done today. I'm mixing again, and I shouldn't. Somebody please stop me. Onwards. Da-da, da-da, da-da. Classic digital. All right. All right, that's actually cool. Maybe another orbit, just to get some more whip. Now this section sounds so lame. It's probably this sound that's making it sound lame, I think. Are we able to edit this to make it less lame? Oh my god, I've already been filming for 1.5 hours. Alright, let's try to keep up the pace. What's so muddy in here? Okay, it's this one. This top melody for another sound. no, we need the hi-hat. Oh, that's a good one. We need like a, I don't know, some percussion as well for the drums. Could we make something out of this? And maybe SSF for the rhythm. 2 beats and volume. And maybe also let's use the second stage to make just a basic auto pan. You could even go to yeah, that's the one. Oh, but the hi-hat needs to be different. It needs to be longer. I mean the main hi-hat. Oh. Yeah. I think we can work with that, even though it's not anywhere near perfect, but that's just how it is. That's fine. Then what else? I think I'll just do an outro. Arpeggio, we're gonna turn up a huge reverb at the end of this part here, so it'll kind of go also into the rest of the outro. Okay, then what I usually want to do is just like end in a surprise chord. Let's try to do that as the last thing, and then I think the track should be ready. Okay. That's nice. I think that's the track. Pretty cool that we were once again able to finish the track in just one day. I literally started the project this morning at like 8 a.m. and now it's 11:49 a.m. So not even noon yet. So that's nice. Let's just have one more listen, and if it sounds good and there's no major things to fix, then that's our week 44's track. And also, by the way, I wouldn't have time to fix the problems anyway because I have 5% battery in my camera. So I'll just quickly try to listen through the thing so I have a battery to do the outro as well. With some mixing, I think it's gonna be pretty good. Especially the intro needs some more work in the mixing department, but I'll do that tomorrow. Thank you so much for spending week 44 with me. This was a blast and also quite quick production, which is nice to also have these weeks in the mix. So it's not always just frustration and not being able to come up with ideas. So I think this week was actually pretty successful in the kind of the music writing part of things. If you would like to see the rest of this year's videos, so I think 7 of the remaining ones, be sure to be subscribed to the channel from the button below, and while you are down there, please also press the like button if you enjoyed the video. If you would also like to produce the rest of this year's tracks with me, you can join the Sixth Sample Discord server from the link down in the description, and on the server we have a Project 52 text channel where each week we share the tracks that we've made with other people and also give feedback to others. So if that sounds like something you might enjoy, be sure to join the server from the link in the description. Alright, I think that's enough for this week's video. I'm gonna end before I run out of batteries in my camera. I hope to see you next week for week 40... Wait, 46? Was this 45? Oh my god, this was already week 45. I think in the intro I said week 44. Well, okay, that's late to fix now. I hope to see you next week for week 46 of Project 52. Oh my god, we are so far along already. Let's see what we are going to come up with then. I have no ideas yet, but we'll figure it out next week together. So see you then, have a good one, bye bye. And enjoy the track that I will be playing you right now. Alright, see you next week, bye.